and JJ.
Hit it!
It's time for The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, welcome in. Glad you're with us today on a Wednesday. Always brought to you by our friends at Coen and Sons Fencing. And the new drug today is the newest comments from the coach and the GM today. They put sort of a wrap on the season and a peek ahead. And I think now that that's done, it's time to go to work and start thinking about the next season, but maybe relaxing a little bit and digesting this one. Frank Frangie, Hayes Carline, and JJ LaSelva with you. Much to talk about. A lot of stuff going on in the world today because there's so many coaching openings and there's all kind of fun stuff around. But I think the news of the day here in town today is that James Gladstone and Liam Coen met with the media in their media room with the beat guys mostly. What'd you take out of it? What was if you're from 10,000 feet, what was the theme, if you will?
Well, before we get into anything that was really spoken, to see Liam Coen today, talk about a dejected individual.
Yeah.
It was radiating off of him, of just how despondent he is over the loss and the season being over. And look, I get it. He wants to be a world champion, and I think he feels like he had a club that had a chance to really push far into this tournament and possibly deliver the first Super Bowl appearance for this organization. And I was really taken aback by how, just body language wise, he was fine in his answers and everything like that. But just Gladstone was Gladstone. Like, he was basically what we're accustomed to seeing with him at the podium. Liam, who obviously we see much more frequently, that's just how it is in the NFL. That's just normal. But boy, it seems like the head man is really, really taking that loss hard. For it to now be Wednesday, I think he's haunted by it. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think it just further emphasizes his competitive fire, but there was no resting on the laurels today. In terms of, there was no victory laps, certainly from Liam. And it was really striking, I thought, just his demeanor and how hard. I think he thought he was going to be getting ready to prepare a team to go to Foxborough and win a divisional round game and, earn an opportunity to compete for the AFC title. And that's what, obviously, they got into some interesting things in terms of players, and we'll get all through that. But really, the way Coen, the way he kind of was in the press conference.
Right.
Again, he didn't do anything wrong, and he was very pleasant. But boy, you could see it was wearing on him.
Yeah, and you were there. I wasn't. I watched it and listened to it. So we've all, and by now, through the power of media now and the power of team media, you can go on the Jags website or even on their Twitter feed and see the whole 35 minutes. So you can watch the whole thing. But I agree. And again, so you were there. So I probably didn't take that out of it as much. You took that out by sitting right in front of him in the press room. What I will tell you is, I kind of like that.
I am not saying that's a bad thing at all. It's just an observation.
Yeah, but I will tell you, in the money quote, and maybe we have it, JJ. The money quote when he essentially said, "Look, we worked hard. We did everything we're supposed to do. We know where we are now, and you know what that got you? 13 wins and an early exit from the playoffs. So now you got to do more." And I love that. I don't know if you have that or not, JJ.
I don't know which one that is.
Okay, so we'll see if we can track that down. But I thought the fact that he said that, I thought that
I think he referred to it as a boulder.
Yeah,
it was like, and now you're back to having to push the boulder back up the hill. And I get it. I can only imagine the hours that Liam Coen, any coach, pours into a football team. Again, this is it's just the finality of how your season ends in the NFL if you get knocked out in the playoffs. It is just, it's brutal.
Yeah.
And it seemed like he was still kind of going through the emotions of that, which is totally understandable. And again, I look, it fires me up. I think Liam Coen is going to deliver things that this organization has never seen before.
Yeah,
and this is just another reminder of I think they've got the right guy.
Yeah, and I can tell you too. So watching all the comments, here's how I would take the whole thing. And you saw Liam up close. I saw it on TV. I don't want to misrepresent it. I saw it on the feed. But my take is that they are, particularly listening to James Gladstone, comfortable, not satisfied. They did a lot of good things, and I think those are the things Gladstone talked about a little bit. He was asked about Buster Brown. He was asked about Devin Lloyd. He was asked about some of the players that nobody had any expectations for and became good players. And again, you'll go into through some of the specifics he talked about. But I think they were comfortable but not satisfied. And you know what? That's a great place, man. That is a great place to be. So you put the wrap on it. You're bummed out it didn't go further. And by the way, I get the whole point about Liam because I'm kind of still there. You know what I mean? I'm kind of this one probably. I tell you what, it hit me way harder than Miles Jack wasn't down, and it hit me harder than the Chiefs because I don't think I went into that game expecting to win. Even when Mahomes got hurt and Chad Henne came in, I don't think you know what I mean, Hayes? I don't think I didn't. When we flew to Kansas City, I didn't think in my heart of hearts they were going to win that game. Now maybe they would have, but I can't tell you if you asked me if you put a lie detector on me as we were on that plane headed to Kansas City after coming back to beat the Chargers. If you told me, Frank, you got to bet all your money, who do you think's going to win? I don't know that I said the Jags, right? The Miles Jack wasn't down really stung because you blinked and you were there. You just walloped the Steelers. You had beaten the Bills here. You feel like you got screwed. I think probably the 3rd and 18 probably ate at me even more than the Miles Jack wasn't down. You know, I think the third and 18, I had trouble getting that one out of my mind even more. So, you lost to Tom Brady. It's not like you lost to, right? This one stayed with me. I can't tell you I think the Bills are a better team than the Jags. I guess that's it. I don't believe the Bills are a better team than the Jags. They beat them, and they had the best player in the league, and certainly the best player in the game. So I get it, and I guess that's kind of where I'm kind of there. I'm kind of there too. So we'll certainly talk more about that and circle back as we talk more about the program. So, but a lot of things to talk about today on the program. We'll certainly talk Jaguars football at least one last time. Put a wrap on this 2025 season. The Gator basketball team last night. Boy, did they demolish Oklahoma.
Absolutely. What a performance. I mean, that's a quad 1 win, too. I mean, it may not stay as a quad 1, but Oklahoma was 65th in the net going in, and you get a road win over a top 75 team. It's a quad 1 win. So that is a very nice win. Worst case scenario, it probably ends up being a quad 2 win. But forgetting even all that, they have started to really hit their stride. The guards are playing at least well enough. We've talked about it for a month and a half. As long as the guards aren't abysmal, Florida will be fine. But they were abysmal so often that you just felt like, boy, how did he possibly miss on both of these guys this badly? Well, as it turns out, he missed on Lee because Lee still hasn't figured anything out. But he's been able to pivot to Clavzar, who was fine, and Fland, played well again. You just need, of those 3 guys, one to play well, one to play okay, and the third guy can play horribly. Because between Houck and Chinlilu and Condon and what Handlogden can give you off the bench, they're unstoppable. It's one of the best college front courts I've ever seen.
And the other thing they're doing too is they've learned, as we've learned, they're not going to shoot the ball well. 6 of 26 again from the arc last night. Houck made 3. I think 3 other guys.
That's right.
Made 1. So they're not going to shoot the ball very well. And so I keep saying you can't win if you can't shoot threes. Well, it's not like you quit playing. It's not like you shut down the program and don't play the season. You got to figure out a way to do it if you can't make threes, and certainly their front court is boy did their front court dominant. That game was as dominant as I've seen. So we'll see. They play a good Vanderbilt team coming up. The league is not what it was last year, but it's still a pretty good league. All of a sudden, the thing you've been asking all along is find a way to win the regular season. Well, they might now.
I'd be disappointed if they don't win the regular season.
Well, 2 weeks ago, I thought there was no chance they were going to. But now look, here's what's clear. They have a really good team. They do not have a good shooting team. That's just the reality. It's not a good shooting team. But I'll tell you something else. We'll talk more about it as we get into it later in the program. The guy that's become a terror is Ruben Chinjian.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
he's all SEC.
He was 19 and 12 last night, and now he can shoot. He goes to the free throw line comfortably. He shoots 15-footers every now and then.
Yeah.
He can that little baby hook. So, I mean, he's the guy. When nobody, by the way, when we talked in the offseason, Nobody mentioned him.
His improvement was overshadowed by the struggles of the guards.
Correct.
But now that the guards, Chinlilu has been unbelievable.
Overshadowed by the struggles of the guards and the very clear emergence of Houck. All of that together, you never talked about Chinlilu, because we talked about Houck and Condon a lot because we talked about him in the offseason. We talked about Fland and Lee because we talked about him in the offseason. Nobody even mentioned Ruben Chinlilu. We knew he was back, and he was a big physical guy. But wow, what a player. So we'll get to that coming up a little bit later on. But I'm going to start with Sports in Course. Brett Hastings is here. Will the DeMond Williams thing change football, change portal, change the free agency stuff? That's how we'll begin the program. A lot to do today. Glad you're with us. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser start the week by giving the ball to the best back in Duval.
And off, Fred Taylor.
Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins DUI defense firm on 1010XL.
Welcome to Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they're North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. Online at keybuickgmc.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Frank Frangie here for my friend and insurance agent, Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 14, 1951, the NFL held its very first Pro Bowl in the LA Coliseum, where Otto Graham was named the MVP.
Not everyone is built for a cubicle. At Local 234, apprentices get paid to learn hands-on skills like plumbing, pipe fitting, HVAC, the stuff Jacksonville runs on. No endless lectures, no massive student debt, just hands-on training, real jobs, and real pay. This is how you level up, by doing work that actually matters. Check them out at UA234.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Local 234. Make the right connection.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your National Builder of the Year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
Game days aren't the only win happening in the 904. Best of Bolt City named 904 Gutters with a Z the #1 seamless gutter company in Duval. Like the team's O-line protects their QB. Call the winning team at 904 Gutters with a Z to protect your home from the rain.
Hi, this is Dave Barker with IHRS. Are you frustrated with those trendy pills, drops, and lotions that claim to make your hair thicker and fuller? Are you taking weight loss drugs or medication that's making your hair fall out? Whether you're frustrated with results from treatments that just don't work, or you no longer have the fuller, thicker hair that you once had, there's a better way. Our hair restoration solutions have helped literally over 10,000 men and women restore their hair in as little as 2 office visits.
Ready to grow your hair back and have permanent, natural, and guaranteed results? For your confidential consultation, call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or go to hairforme.com. That's hairforme.com.
I'm Holt Harrell. I was talking to someone the other day and they were shocked that some lawyers get more from a case than their own client. After paying bills and costs, if we are supposed to get more than a client, we won't. That's the Harrell and Harrell promise. When we say that we treat our clients like family, we mean it. If you've been in an accident, call us today. 251-1111. Harrell and Harrell. Offices, Jacksonville.
Coach Campo here, and I just want to tell you about the best pizza I've had right here in Duval, and that's Tony D's Pizza. Tony works hard to make every slice perfect. If you love pizza like I do, you need to go to Tony D's, Bay Meadows and 295.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Now time for Sports and Courts, legal issues in the sports world with Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. Hit back with Hastings.
All right, our friend Brett Hastings is here from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. How you doing?
Doing great. I mean,
bummed out? Still bummed out?
I am.
I'm in
full denial. I'm in full denial.
The whole city's bummed out.
I was consuming all the NFL stuff I could on TV. I find myself avoiding it right now.
I said this on the program last week. If you win, if the Jags had beaten the Bills, if you win at 1:00, there's nothing better than watching that afternoon and night game with that win under your belt. Well, JJ, there's nothing worse than watching when you've lost. I didn't talk about how bad.
I bet a lot of people didn't watch.
Yeah, I had trouble watching. I didn't think about the other side of it. It's great watching with that win under your belt.
Right.
Like in college football, you get that noon start and you win, you're good all day. So it was kind of a bummer.
You should know that since they banished the Gators to that 7:00 game.
No noon games last year.
Yeah.
I still don't know how that happened.
Right.
The way it turned out, that was fine, because then I've been depressed all day. So I'm glad it was. This DeMond Williams Jr. situation is fascinating to me. For people that don't know, he's a Washington quarterback. He signed to stay. Then he changed his mind, said he was going to leave. Washington said, "To hell you are," and decided they said they were going to use every legal opportunity they could. The next thing you know, he's staying. And then I read that had he left, he would have owed them $4 million. Take me through all of it.
Yeah, it's super interesting. And, last week we were kind of pontificating about how things could happen. After he, said, "I'm going into the portal," his agents, right, terminated him. He then hired Darren Heitner, who is a Florida lawyer and an agent. And Darren got involved in it, and then he decided to stay there. We have not seen the actual revenue sharing contract, but I think it's pretty clear that there was a liquidated damages provision. Now, this is something we talked about last week on Sports and Courts, and when you hear that report, that's what I believe. A liquidated damages provision is when the parties agree ahead of the time. If one of the parties breaches, this would be what the measure of damages are. And so what's super interesting, there's been at least two credible reports that this agreement said you can never, you're not allowed to enter the portal. Right. And so that was one of the things. And so that in and of itself at that point would be the breach. What I think probably happened is they went and looked at it and said, look, these are very strong contractual arguments for this being $4.5 million in damages. And then, what happens, it's like what we do with our clients all the time. I had somebody the other day say, well, maybe I don't need a lawyer. And I said, that's fine. And I let them know that, when they hire us, you tend to get a recovery that's much higher, like 7 to 9 times. But it's because we could economically enforce it, right? So the other side's going to try to buy their case for pennies. Well, in this case, guy says, oh, I want to go to LSU at $6 million. Well, Darren or whoever's there goes and says, look, this is an open and shut legal case, right? And there's probably venue selection clauses. It's going to be in state court in Washington. Okay. Nobody's going to like the guy that left to go to LSU. And they had to enforce to him. This is the economic reality of it. And very quickly, everybody kind of folded and went back in. Now, what I think is just still fascinating about this, is it legal precedent? Not technically. See, what happens is when we have cases that are decided, those can be binding on others. But I think this is the first stage, the universities let it be known, we're going to go and try to enforce this. They obviously convinced that to the player and to Heitner, right? What these deals are, it's still a facade. This is a revenue sharing licensing agreement for this young man, right? But they're putting in provisions to try to see to it that if you do X, right, you can be sued, you can get this money. The contract, I'll guarantee you when we do get a hold of it, doesn't say you have to go perform on the football field, right? They don't want to define it as an employee. But what we have is really some creative lawyering to set this up to trigger other things to say, hey, if they do X, then it'll mean Y in damages or what have you, because if it did go and get litigated, I do think they would get the award of $4.5 million. Typically, the courts are going to award substance over form and labels. And at some point, we are going to see one of these go through, and they are going to define the players as an employee. There is no doubt this is a pay-for-play contract that is essentially trying to label it as something else and put into it significant other contract provisions that anticipate ways to restrain the player.
Would it make sense for schools to pay their stars out of the revenue share, because maybe that can be a little tighter legally as opposed to an NIL contract? So maybe you pay your stars out of your revenue share, which is more binding, and you pay your supplemental second wave guys out of NIL, which seems to be harder to really constrict them legally.
Yes and no. If you're worried about defining them as employees, the money coming from the university, and I think this is what the universities are worried about, that component of the rev share, I think it would be easier, like if corporate I just saw that I guess there's a new rule that they think is going to roll out now that you can wear corporate sponsorship patches in the NCAA. Did you see that?
I did.
Right. So it's they're all wanting to source this money in, from other places. I think that it probably, there's more rules and more people are trying to agree to rules as it relates to the rev share. But again, it gets back to this isn't collectively bargained by any of the players or anybody else. And somebody can come in and say, look, they're trying to restrain me. This really is an employment contract. They don't have antitrust protections. And at the end of the day, there is no doubt eventually, I believe these agreements will be defined for what they are. They're not intellectual property contracts granting a license of somebody's name, image, and likeness. They are employment contracts, right, that are trying to compensate players to do it. The reality is we have professional sports, but nobody wants to admit they're professional athletes, and nobody wants to admit they're employees.
I think the big thing with where the Damon Williams thing is going to go is his case, and I told you about the Ryan Williams case from Alabama, because both got big money 2 years before they were going to be a pro. So stay with me on this. If all these quarterbacks are getting $4 or $5 million to play for me for 1 year, this would never happen because the deal would be over. Damon Williams got a 2-year deal. DJ Lagway, we were told, got a 2-year deal. This guy, Ryan Williams from Alabama, that's when it gets like this, right, Brett? Because this guy just said, well, I'm not staying for the second year. And they said, well, yes, you are, because you're because I wonder from now on if every 2-year deal we see, it winds up like this. You can't leave. And by the way, that's how it ought to be.
Right.
I think what happened with Damon Williams is good for college football. Don't you think that?
Absolutely. I mean, what we want to do is not have, I think Hayes said it the other day, and it really was true. It's almost like this, it's instant free agency all the time. There's all of this chaos. And I don't think your word should be your word, right? And then you go to this next level and you formalize it by way of a contract. And this young man was going to get paid $4.5 million, okay? This isn't inconsequential. All of these other athletes, the coaches, all of these other people are dependent on this decision and should be able to plan. We see that with the Jaguars, right? Yeah, everybody knows. We've known, okay, now's the time that ETN might move on. Some of these other people go on, but you can plan and you can anticipate this sort of this musical chairs, and then you see who's going to get who at the end of the portal. Just, it isn't even good for the young men. I know somebody can make a little more money here or there, but I can't fathom that this is good for player development. I don't think this is good for families, loved ones, or anything.
It'll be interesting to see the way the Damon Williams thing affects everything moving forward. 2-year deals have to be 2-year deals. Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. Great work as always. How about the Gator basketball? You feel better about that since you're bummed out about
I
the
do.
Jags? It made me feel a little better.
I know. Get Xavier a haircut, and
then
we're an Elite Eight.
And the headband.
Headband.
Elite
Yeah, for
Eight.
sure.
This team's repeating.
Yeah.
Brett, thanks, man. We appreciate it. Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. But it is interesting. It really is interesting the way this whole thing's going to play out as to whether or not all of a sudden you've got 2-year deals that guys can't break.
If I was running the show for a major college football program, I would pay my stars out of the revenue share because to me, that's a line from point A to point B. And if they don't fulfill what they're supposed to do, I think it's much easier for me to sue them. The NIL stuff is just in the wind. It just seems like it's so hard to get any sort of grip on what that compensation is really supposed to be and how it ties the athlete to it. So if I was these guys, these GMs and head football coaches, I would, if they're giving me $14 million is football, that's what football gets in rev share, it's going all to my stars.
We'll take a break. More in a moment. 1010 CL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Hey, this is Tom McManus. If you get injured out there, there's only one number to call. Pound Law, that's all. Slip and fall, car wreck, wrongful death. It doesn't matter. Morgan & Morgan handles it all. They're the largest in the country. 100 offices, over 1,000 attorneys. $20 billion recovered for 500,000 clients. That's the kind of team I want. If you get hurt from someone else's wrongdoing, check out Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com.
It's a new year at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. Cash in this month with thrilling promotions and tournaments, including daily high hands. Don't miss the winning weekends and table games Clockwork Cash Out, giving away $500 cash every 30 minutes on selected weekends at all Best Bet locations. The excitement is just beginning in 2026. Learn the games and see all the details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Here's hoping for a Raise the Roof football season. And here's knowing Next Gen Roofing is up for any job. Game day or storm season, you need a team you can trust. And you know what? You don't need a glitzy roofing company. No shortcuts, no gimmicks, no nonsense. Solid roofs at competitive prices and a commitment to the First Coast community. Right now, save up to $300 on your next roof replacement. When you need a roof, you need Next Gen Roofing. Team with you, it's a win every time.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
The best financial move you can make this time of year? How about lowering your mortgage rate to 4.99% fixed APR, the lowest rate in years? How about getting up to $500,000 out of your home equity in the process? You can do it now by calling Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Prosser here, and with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get a ton of cash, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and skip up to 2 house payments. One homeowner just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. Wiped out their credit cards and 2 car loans, saved $2,100 a month. So don't wait. No hard credit pull up front, and you probably won't even need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Act now. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Start the new year by wiping out your high-interest debt. 904-999-1508. And you can see how much cash you can get today. That's loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey, folks, it's Frank Frangie. All those festive holiday feasts probably have added a few extra pounds, but here's the thing. You can make this the year you finally lose the weight safely and for good. Now, you know by now my daughter Amber kicked off the journey with Awaken 180 weight loss back in the summer. You ready for this? She's lost 100 pounds in 6 months. Man, is she proud of that. 100 pounds. And she really did it with this really, really good plan. There's no shots, no medications, no supplements, just real food and a proven plan. That's right, with Awaken 180, you can still enjoy your favorite food and drink. No more yo-yo diets or feeling deprived. The structured program empowers you to control your eating without hunger. It really is doable. Don't just resolve to make the change. Make the change. Call Awaken 180 today and take that first small step. Book your consultation now, 1-844-346-1800, or visit awaken180weightloss.com. It worked for Amber. It really did. And it can work for you. Awaken 180 weight loss.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Back to a Coen and Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it too.
Played it till my fingers bled. Was the summer of 69.
If I had a list of my just damn good songs, doesn't matter who the artist is, that's on the damn good song list.
This is a song you never get tired of.
Never. It's
I've never once said,
same right.
I'm changing it. I've heard this too many times.
It's on the
lately.
damn good song list.
It just is, yeah. And it's a good video, too.
Baby, turn this off. Yeah, this isn't one of those.
Coen and Sons Friday, our Coen and Sons Wednesday. We sure appreciate our friends Coen and Sons, 904-356-4821, or log on to coiljacks.com, C-O-I-L-E. Jacks.com. They've been out at the Breaking Baseball Complex redoing all our fencing all week long, and guys, they're quick, they're efficient, they do a wonderful job. Thanks to our friends at Coen and Sons. I want to back to something we were talking about with Brett for a moment here. So I'm looking at all the. Did you see the Ty Simpson interview with Chris Lowe?
No.
Did you see it, JJ?
Oh, I read it.
It was really interesting.
Yeah, because you're locked in.
I didn't agree with a lot of it. But I'm glad that he was so upfront about it.
Yeah, I don't think he lied. I mean, I think so Ty Simpson is going to the NFL, but he had all these college offers. So he told a story that he had a $4 million offer from Tennessee, LSU, and Miami. And then
6.5.
No, well, I'm getting there.
Okay.
So he had $4 million offer from Tennessee, LSU, and Miami.
Not bad.
Okay, $4 million for 1 year. Okay, and then he said, "Now I'm going to the NFL." So Miami said, "We're moving on." Well, after saying they're moving on, they didn't get Levitt. Now he's actually calling Levitt by name in the story.
Mm-hmm.
He said they don't get Levitt, so then they came back and offered a new offer of $6.5 million. Wow. And he said, I had to really think about it. He said, Miami's offered me $6.5 million. He said, $6.5 million for 8 months of work.
Miami and Tennessee?
He just said Miami in the story.
Okay.
He said, they're offering me $6.5 million for 8 months of work.
Yeah.
He said, you got to really think about that. And then he said, I talked to Coach Saban, and Coach Saban said, forget the money. What is your dream? What do you want to be doing next year? Playing college football or playing in the NFL? And he said, I want to play in the NFL, so I'm going to stay in the draft. Now,
that might be the dumbest decision I've ever heard.
He also was like, I was a captain at Alabama, and I don't want to throw away what I built. I was like,
well,
that doesn't exist anymore.
You didn't build
but he did
nothing
say,
there.
But he did say the conversation we had about Jack Pyburn. I remember we had a conversation on this show about Jack Pyburn that if he stayed at Florida, he'd be a Gator legacy. He'd never buy another drink in the state of Florida the rest of his life. Right. And by going to LSU, he ruined all. Well, that's what Simpson's talking about. If he went and ended his career somewhere else, he would never be an Alabama.
I'm going to let him know Alabama fans don't view him as a
hero.
Well, that's
he's
the thing, too.
But it was an interesting conversation.
It is.
Oh, yeah. It was the most I've ever seen a player talk about the portal like that.
I thought the same thing. So I thought, there's two stories here.
He turned down $6.5 million to quarterback the Canes next year?
Yes.
To be a Jets quarterback.
Yeah. And
I mean, he's not even guaranteed to go in the top 5 of this draft.
Right.
He might be now because Dante Moore just
that
dropped
helps
out.
him.
But he's not guaranteed. He's certainly not guaranteed.
No.
But the point of the story, there's two storylines. One storyline is the decision he made. To your point, Hayes, that he passed up $6.5 million to go be the Miami quarterback for 1 year.
That's moronic. I mean, it's his life, but that is a moronic decision.
Right. So for all the reasons he said, so he passed it up. He's going to the NFL draft. The other storyline is what's going on with these schools. Miami has figured out, at least for now, Miami has the formula. And that is, don't worry about recruiting quarterbacks, developing quarterbacks. We're going to go out and get the best quarterback we can find, pay him way more than anybody else is paying him. They wound up getting the Heisman Trophy winner, who was really good. He left. They wound up getting Carson back. And I will tell you this, I
was like 24-2 as a starter.
You're right. And I will tell you this, that I was told by somebody who would know, Carson's from here, okay, that when it came out that he got $4 million to go to Miami, that was the story. $4 million to go to Miami, $4 million. I was told by somebody who would know, I trust me on this, that it was way more than that.
Same.
So same thing. That
I
it was,
heard the exact
that
same
it was
thing.
way more than 4. So now,
the person laughed at me when I said 4.
Yeah, and so I was told it was way more than 4, and now having been told that, I sort of, well, I guess now seeing that Ty Simpson on record said Miami offered my agent $6.5 million. I'm wondering if Carson Beck got $6 million to go to Miami. Well, then you do leave Georgia in your 24-3 record.
Yeah.
If you have a chance to go, and so it's just amazing that that's where this world is.
And it was a great investment. They're playing for the national championship.
They may win the national
They've
title.
made that money back 50 times over.
Do you think the NFL will change their rookie pay scale now?
Well, that's and isn't that a great sidebar?
They
to
will
this?
not.
I don't.
But it's a good question.
It's a great question.
Yeah, but they will not.
Of all the sidebars,
because we just saw today,
they don't
Dante
care how
Moore.
long kids stay in college.
Right. But
eventually,
yeah, they're coming.
Yeah, you're coming.
But I love the question. But my point is, will other teams do this? Will other teams? Because it looks like that's the world we're in, and you better be right. Give Miami credit; they picked the right guy 2 years. Some team, if you pick the wrong guy, you're out a lot of money.
Here's the bad thing, though. They've done that, and they've said, we're not going to develop high school quarterbacks, and now they're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
They could have a roster of what they do have now is a bunch of guys who they don't think are good enough, and they just got really unlucky this portal, and that's what happens when you don't develop a quarterback on your roster.
So it's really interesting to see where there's only so many Sam Levins out there.
Exactly.
And so, but
is he even that good?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
I'll say this. I remember when all the Gator fans wanted Michael Pratt and Sam Hartman and Grayson McCall. I had to be one of those guys. Well, none of them turned out to be very good. But every Florida fan, because those were the names you saw on social media. And
he did go to the playoffs last year, but I wasn't. I never watched him and was like, "Whoa, this guy is."
My guess is Sam Levitt's a good player. My guess is it's more
desperation than
and experience
and best available than it is great.
Exactly.
Sometimes if you're the best available, you look great in that class.
And look, these teams are all these. You've got 60 clubs. 60, schools that play college football and want to play it at a high level that have this money. And so
that's the thing.
It's a scarce resource. There's only so many of these guys that are difference makers at that position.
And that's why, by the way, a school like TCU, which is a darn good football program. I mean, TCU's a good program. Not great. They played in the national championship game a few years ago. They got walloped, but they played in it. It's a damn good football program. They develop a good quarterback. They have no chance of keeping him.
He's going to Indiana.
He's going to Indiana because Mark Cuban's funding them, not them. And so I mean, if you really, it's just amazing to me.
Even Nebraska.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Nebraska's quarterback is going to sit behind Moore for a year. He left Nebraska, and now he's going to sit.
Whose dad played at Nebraska.
Crazy.
And so the point is, that's where we are. Is college football, a lot of people go wink, wink. It's always been whoever had the most money. Because
not to this level,
not like this.
Yeah,
and it's so
it
public.
was like 30,000 here,
right?
Yeah.
A roof on your house,
$20,000,
right?
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't
now
$6.5 million.
So I mean, when I saw that story, Ty Simpson. Okay, this wasn't.
He just put up like one touchdown in his last game. I think his last 2 games combined,
and
they had maybe negative offensive
that
yards.
story blew my mind.
Can you imagine what Cam Newton would have fetched
if
he wanted to leave Auburn after winning the Heisman?
And remember, it was rumored to be like 250,000 he made.
And we couldn't believe it.
Yeah, we couldn't.
Can you believe he got that much?
Right.
But I just, when I read that story,
this sport has changed more than any sport in my lifetime.
So we talk about Miami now has to go find a guy. Florida State got this guy Ashton Daniels. My assumption is that's all that would go there.
He should be paying FSU.
But what I wonder is I wonder what he's getting. I mean,
I heard $850.
Well, last year Castellanos got 800,000.
Yeah, and he said and Irish O'Fell wrote that some of the other he said Lagway and somebody else they talked to, I forget who it was, wanted we're going to be $2 million guys, and they don't think their team's going to be very good, and so
let me understand this. Florida State and Miami, two of the most bitter rivals in college football history. One of these schools can pay their quarterback $6.5 million, and one of them can't even get to $1 million.
And one is
that honestly where Miami, Florida State is now?
Well, and certainly if you watch them on the field, it feels that way.
And if you remember a couple years ago, there was a bidding war between Miami and Florida State for Cam Ward.
That's right.
And
that's right.
The programs went in complete opposite directions based off of that one.
That is a really, I had not thought about that. I don't know if it was a bidding war, but it certainly was a competition for who would get him.
And they got DJU instead.
And you know what? Miami got him, and look where the two programs. That's a great point. Look where the two programs.
We'll give you $4 million. We'll give you a 6-pack of Yoo-Hoo.
Yeah. So now Florida has made the choice, Hayes, to not pay a quarterback. So the word you hear is Philo's getting in the millions, somewhere over $1 million. That Tramel Jones is getting probably in the high 100,000s. So did Florida not want to go get the $4 million guy? That's what I think. I think they wanted to kind of see what they had. But they didn't even get in the Sam Levitt, Josh Hoover sweepstakes.
Yeah, and I again,
and with a first-year coach, I get it.
I do too. Well, particularly when you're hiring an offensive coordinator that's already worked with Philo.
That's right.
So to me, that's
and thinks he's something special.
Now next year, if Philo plays really well, then the price tag's going to go way up, and Florida at that point is going to have to ask, or going to have to come up with the money to retain Philo, or he will leave and he'll go to Miami or Indiana or Texas Tech and make $7 million or whatever the market jumps to in a year. So yeah, I mean, I think it was a smart strategy because I think you want to take advantage of the familiarity that Faulkner has with Philo.
Yeah,
and again, I'm not counting Tramel Jones out. I mean, I don't know that that's a given that it's.
Well,
I mean, I think the plan is Philo, but I don't think that there's a significant chasm between those two players.
How could we sit here and count anybody out when we haven't seen either one of them play?
Right.
Yeah, if we're sitting here counting either one of them out, we're dummies because we don't know. It's not. If Sam Levitt would be different, we've seen him play.
Right.
We got two guys doing.
But you pay a guy $6.5 million. There's no competition.
That's right.
I mean, that's the equivalent of drafting Trevor Lawrence at 1 and then having this idiotic facade that he's competing on a day in and day out basis with Gardner Minshew.
No one would do that.
They wouldn't have done that. You made that up. Nobody would ever do that. We'll take a break. He says headlines after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Non-stop Knowles. Search 1010XL Seminoles on YouTube.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Chevrolet is proud to be an 8-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient. The only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award. Earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. Visit NimnickChevy.com to learn more. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. I've been buying my vehicles there since 1982 because they care about their customers and are invested in our local community, including supporting walk-off charities and all we're trying to do to give underprivileged kids a chance to play baseball. Treating you right, giving the most back to the community, more choices and better prices for you. So who has put the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. Visit the showroom off Cassett Avenue or shop 24/7 at NimnickChevy.com. Remember again, who does it best? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top-quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
Like to learn how to fly an airplane? Well, you're not alone. High Flying Jacko here, inviting you to listen Sunday morning. We'll start your aviation career with a 60-minute ride on the airwaves of 1010XL. The High Flying Show, Sunday at 9 on 1010XL.
This is Sheridan Tootin, Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, and Dr. Kevin Murphy put my right shoulder back together a few years ago, and I'm still feeling great. Now I'm using PRP treatment for my knee pain. No matter what you're dealing with, if you're enduring any orthopedic issue, my only recommendation is Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Call us at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist if you ever have a need.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Finding the right plumber to reline your cast iron pipes doesn't have to be a stressful experience. When you hire Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, you can rest assured you're getting the best in the industry. At Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, we're so confident in our work that we encourage you to get multiple estimates. Look at each company's reviews and check the scope of their pipelining work to make sure it's what you're expecting. But at the end of the day, make the superior choice. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. Request a free estimate at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
Hi, it's Frank Frangie. You hear my buddies Dan and Jeff talk about that great food at Daly's Dash all the time. Jeff loves that Duval, and Dan loves the Boss. And they're right, both are terrific. But I can tell you they have so many excellent options at Daly's Dash. Salads and flatbreads and tacos and quesadillas, you name it. And of course, those fantastic subs and sandwiches. I just had the Italian sub. It is so good. The thing is, Daly's Dash is really committed to their food and committed to making it perfect for you. Everything is fresh, made to order every time. And there's so many Daly's locations in town, no matter where you are, there's one near you. I love to pop in and grab a sub at lunch, or maybe after a round of golf, or maybe even after calling one of those Jags games. There's never a bad time to stop into Daly's Dash and grab that great, great food. So head there today. Take it from Dan and Jeff, or take it from me. They say it's nicer here. It really is. And the food is delicious. Head to Daly's Dash today.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell and Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. So how do you decide? With so many messages on air, I know it can all sound the same. At Harrell and Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. When you've been injured in an accident, you need help from someone you know, someone you can trust. Harrell and Harrell, a name you know, a name you trust. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Offices, Jacksonville.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harrell and Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
That's right. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank, JJ, Hayes, we're all here. And we're fired up. Let's start with the Jaguars. Travis Hunter, we've talked a lot about the future of Travis Hunter as a two-way player. It was interesting today, James Gladstone, Jaguars general manager, head coach Liam Coen, met with reporters, and it did seem that there was a concession that corner has become more of an emphasis. He'll still be a two-way player, but you definitely get a sense corner is more the priority for Hunter next year than receiver.
I thought the way Gladstone answered it was interesting. And he did. The last thing they were going to do is come and show up today and say, we've changed our mind. So I think the way Gladstone answered is, first of all, we expect him to play both ways. We expect him still to play both ways. But then he said, but look, if you've looked at our roster and you've looked at the expiring contracts, it's obvious now there's going to be more of a need at corner, so the emphasis could be there. But we still expect him to play both ways. So he answered it very wisely, Hayes. He said, if you look at the expiring contracts on our roster, logic tells you he's going to emphasize cornerback. We expect him to play both ways. And what you and I talked about yesterday, you asked me what I would do. I said, I think based on their roster, I'd make him a shutdown corner, and I'd have him 8-9 plays a game, run some routes on offense. And I think that my guess is, just guessing from what we heard from them today, that's probably where it's headed.
Yeah, absolutely. Liam Coen also talked about Trevor Lawrence, obviously an incredible season for Lawrence, particularly in that second half when he was named AFC Offensive Player of the Month for December and January. Liam Coen talked about the encouraging things Trevor did and peeking a little ahead to things he might want him to work on next season.
Yeah, I haven't had any of those conversations yet. It's been about a little bit of appreciation, just talk to him briefly about how much I appreciated his work this season, his trust, the growth that he did make, his openness to be coached and coached hard. I think he'd be one of the first ones to tell you there's a lot of work to continue to do and to be done. And so that's what we'll look at for these next few weeks as our coaching staff will, when we get back into the building, all right, what's the three best that we want to end up providing for each player specifically, and have some of those conversations when we get back in the building.
I got a hunch 16's going to really blow up now. I think He was up, had some struggles. He had to learn Liam's system. He did. We talked before the season ever started. We asked the question, could Liam Coen unlock Trevor Lawrence in the same way that he unlocked Baker Mayfield? Well, the answer was yes. We saw it. I can only imagine now what becomes of Trevor Lawrence in year 2 of this offense, this fantastic coach. You never know, but boy, oh boy, if he's not one of the elite quarterbacks next year, I'd be very surprised. I'll say that.
Yeah, I agree. I think the expectations will be very high for Trevor Lawrence, as they should be after he closed the season as brilliantly as he did. James Gladstone talked about a couple of young players, Brenton Strange and Parker Washington, who have now concluded their 3rd season. It's interesting. So now they're eligible to talk extension with those players. You have to have played 3 years. Gladstone did put out a technicality in that you actually can't do it until the new league year hits. That's when they're technically have been in for 3 years. So nothing will happen before mid-March when it comes to Strange in Washington. But Gladstone talked very glowingly about those 2 young men's future with the Jaguars.
You know what? I think we'll take the time here. Obviously, it's all preliminary discussions at this point in time. And probably premature to truly dive in. Got to wait until we hit that full 3-year mark with a new league year. But nonetheless, I think both Brenton and Parker are people that we feel like align strongly with how we want to move forward.
There's no question. They've proven it. With Jacoby Myers, they proved it. With Cole Van Lannon, they proved it. 2 guys they could extend. There's no doubt in my mind they extend these guys as much as they can. Now, look, the other side of that is both those guys have agents. And the reality is everybody knows they're really in the Jags' plans. Well, so do their agents. So sometimes that can get a little uncomfortable. But there's no doubt that you got 2 very productive guys playing for a regime now that has made it very clear they're going to race to extend and reward their productive people. I think that one's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I agree.
Both of those are no-brainers.
Yeah, I am starting to worry a little bit about losing the coordinators, with 9 vacancies. You've got the Dolphins interviewing Anthony Campanile. Obviously, we talked about Grant Udisky and the interest Cleveland has in him. One good thing with the Dolphins, they completed an interview today with Jeff Hafley, who is a very strong candidate. So it's not, obviously, you want these guys to go on and have great head coaching careers. But selfishly, obviously the top priority is we want the Jaguars to continue winning. And you hope, selfishly, Campanile and Udisky are both back here.
I think they're going to both. And let me be clear, and there's no inside information. I'm guessing. My guess is we'll get them both back next year. There's more names out there that have been mentioned more often or more prominently. But I don't think you're going to have either one of them very long. I think that's the point, right? I think, and by the way, of the 8 teams remaining, 4 of the coaches were offensive, come from the offensive background, 4 came from the defensive background. So it's not one or the other. The one still playing. So, no, Hayes, I'm going to guess that they're both back next year. I'm going to guess that might be about it.
I'm curious to see, let's get around the NFL. I'm curious to see what the Titans do because they're bringing in 2 people. One, I hope they hire. One, I hope they don't. But I'm curious to get your thoughts. Arthur Smith, who I'm totally fine if Tennessee hires. He obviously was an OC for the Titans under Vrabel, did pretty good things. Mike McDaniel is on there. I'm not sure I want Mike McDaniel in Nashville.
With Cam Ward?
Yeah, I'm not sure I like that.
Yeah, I don't know that either scare me. Arthur Smith certainly doesn't. I did not think he did a very good job in Pittsburgh. He wasn't very good as a head coach when he was a head coach, so that one doesn't scare me. Yeah, neither one. I mean, look, all these guys are good coaches, or they wouldn't have been NFL coaches, and they wouldn't be in the hunt. So there's no bad coaches being considered here. But of the ones you fear the most, neither of those would be on my list.
Let's get to college football. Oregon quarterback Dante Moore is staying in school to cash, I'm sure, what will be a very big check. But a lot of people believed he was going to be the second quarterback off the board in this draft behind Fernando Mendoza.
And again, we just had the conversation last segment. Now it's not, are you not ready? Now it's, if you're not sure you're ready, I got 6 million reasons for you to stay. That's how this thing's changed. And not surprised. I think we're going to see far more of that. I think you're going to see far more quarterbacks who could come out not coming out. I almost think that the pendulum's going to swing completely, and we're almost going to be surprised when a guy does. I really think that before anybody that could even think about coming out came out. I think that's changing.
Do you still have to like go to your economics class if you're making $6 million as a? I mean, like,
Well-
if that kid walks in and I'm the teacher, I'm the professor,
Well-
I'm like, just get out of here.
Well, think
just
about it.
I'm giving you an A.
Leave the money on the
It's
desk.
insulting for you to even be in here making $6 million with the rest of these
Well,
students.
think about this. To that end, we follow all the stories, right? When's the last time anybody was academically ineligible? When is the last time?
It's been 10 years.
I mean, we used to laugh about this. This is how much luck Florida has. Will Greer got suspended for steroids.
Last guy ever.
He was the first guy in
And last
80
guy.
years
Right.
that had been suspended for steroids.
He
Remember
was
that?
obviously set up by McElwain.
I mean, right? No, I'm not kidding. Or
Yeah.
something. And now all of a sudden, when's the last time? No one's academically ineligible. I mean, can you remember the last time someone missed in any basketball or football? He's academically ineligible? Never.
Never.
It never happens. So no, he's not going to economics class.
Yeah.
That was a dumb question.
The weirdest part about all this is Dylan Raiola went there 48 hours ago.
Right.
And so it's like, is he still going to stay there and
Yeah.
just be
Well-
behind Dylan Moore
well, we'll
for
see.
a whole year?
We'll see. Did he sign Raiola?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Who knows? You never know.
It is. I mean, I
It's a
I
mess.
pity the college administrators
Dude.
and coaches.
He's
trying
academically
to,
ineligible because he
GMs,
flunked
yeah.
his composition class.
right. Let's get to college basketball. The Gators rout Oklahoma 96-79 in Norman. UF shot 54% with 5 double-digit scores.
Mostly because they were layups and dunks and
Yeah.
tip-ins because
They were awful from the three-point line.
6 of 26 yet again. They can't shoot. They're not a very good shooting team. But we're reminded of how the last couple games, how physical they are inside. Tennessee was, remember, I mean, Jay Billis kept saying, this is Adult Swim. This is Adult Swim. You better, this is mano-a-mano. Old Florida buried them inside, and they buried Oklahoma inside. Oklahoma was probably a tournament team, if nothing else. We got so caught up in how bad the shooters are and how bad the guard play was. Hayes, we probably lost sight of how dominant that inside game can be, and we're seeing it of late.
Without a doubt, we will get you out on our musical note of the day. Happy birthday to Dave Grohl, who turns 57 today.
Wow.
What a career in rock and roll. The drummer for Nirvana, one of the biggest bands of my generation. He founded the Foo Fighters, who are still unbelievable. Saw them in Fenway Park about a year ago, and they were incredible. He almost does like a concert where it's almost like he is like a music professor, because they'll play like a little bit of everything from all sort. Like they played some Nine Inch Nails. They'll play, and obviously Foo Fighters have an incredible catalog. So it was really cool to see him go through it and bands and music that mean a lot to him. So unbelievable career for Dave Grohl. 57 years old today. This is Everlong.
Has anybody else, other than, I guess, McCartney, although Wings wasn't really a band, it was just him, but has anybody else been that prominent on two different bands? Not band and then solo. A lot have done that.
Right.
But I mean band and band. Has
Yeah.
anybody else?
No, and Foo Fighters is his band.
Yeah,
so-
but still, they're more prominent
Yeah.
for them than him.
Yeah. That's a good question. I can't think of one.
Well, McCartney, you could say the same thing.
Yeah.
Wings was a band.
Right.
You know, so the Beatles and Wings. So I can't think of anybody else. Well done.
Thank you.
We've got, when we come back, hour two, my friend Kevin Kaplan, our final medical report of the year. We're going to bring him in right at 5 o'clock and talk all about what's going on in the medical world now for the Jaguars. Kevin Kaplan's up next. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
It's January. You turn on the hot water, expecting steam, and you get let down. That's usually a sign your tankless water heater is loaded with mineral buildup, slowing it down and wearing it out before it's time. So Duck Duck Rooter is kicking the new year off strong with a Start Fresh Tankless Flush. Their experienced technicians flush and clean your tankless system, restoring performance and getting you back in the game. Right now, get your tankless water heater flushed and cleaned for just $99, 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Get in the huddle with 1010XL's QB.
All right, guys, let's make a play for 1010XL.
David Garrard joins Mike and Fat Tony on Jaguars Today. Restored by Resto Pros of Northeast Florida on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here from my bank, South State Bank. South State has been committed to delivering world-class customer service that businesses like yours and mine can count on. From personalized support to cutting-edge banking solutions, South State Bank has blended the trusted traditions we all value with the innovation you need for tomorrow. Whether you're managing cash flow or investing in growth, South State Bank is here to help you move forward. Visit southstatebank.com or visit your local branch today. That's South State, member FDIC.
You like winning? This is former Jaguar linebacker Tom McManus, and I'm excited to introduce you to J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling of Greater Jacksonville. If you're a property manager, contractor, builder, realtor, or homeowner, get that feeling of success with less stress. I've used them. My friends have used them. So get your free junk removal and hauling estimate today. Now, I call that a win. Veteran-owned and operated J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Call 506-1256. We haul it all.
1010XL and Southeast Orthopedic Specialists congratulate this week's Scholar Athlete of the Week, Christian Ricks, senior basketball player at Paxson School. Christian was an All-Gateway and honorable mention All-First coach. Congratulations, Christian.
It's the Happy Renewal Year sale at Renewal by Anderson. Buy one, get one 40% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, zero down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. But this offer expires January 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Lauren Brooks here, and if you're getting a tax refund this year, here's a great way to use it. Invest in new tires from Big Chief Tire. I've trusted the Parman family for years because they always take care of my car like it's their own. New tires make your ride safer and more reliable, and that's worth every penny. Schedule the best service in town at WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 and put your refund to work.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee. Man, it's incredible. Just an hour north of Jacksonville and Folkestone. I was so impressed. It's about connecting with nature, with food, with community. And now you can own your very own handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm. Everything you need is there. You'll hardly need to go grocery shopping. Learn more about all of it at okefarm.com. That's OKEfarm.com, the farm at Okefenokee.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, the adorable chess man on the trucks.
There are two things you should ask yourself about your garage floor. How clean is it now, and how clean would you like it to be? A typical bare concrete floor doesn't just collect dirt, it makes dirt.
It is literally made of dirt.
As much as you sweep and mop, the dust and grit just never ends.
And drips from your car seep into the pores, staining the concrete forever.
A Checkmate multi-layer floor resists drips and stains. It comes in your choice of dozens of colors and sweeps up sparkling clean in just seconds.
No need to wear shoes in the garage and track dirt back in the house.
Gorgeous?
Check. Durable?
Check. Tidy enough to walk on wearing clean white socks? Checkmate.
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. Some big-time news in the golf world as five-time major champion Brooks Koepka has been reinstated on the PGA Tour after spending the last 4 years on the LIV Golf Tour. Koepka will make his first start at the Farmers Insurance Open at the end of the month and is also committed to play the Waste Management Phoenix Open in February. It's 56 degrees at 5 o'clock time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air & Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Now time for the medical update with Jaguars team physician Kevin Kaplan, presented by Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville.
All right, my buddy Kevin Kaplan is here. I know you're really locked in and committed because you look like you're still bummed out.
Yeah, it was rough, man. That's just, we all are. You know,
I said it. We've all, we're not over it.
No,
Yeah,
no way.
Yeah,
No, not even close.
Thought the same thing. So okay, very good. So all right, that was my how are you? You just told me. Okay? we just got that out. So what happens now? What happens now when you're the team surgeon and the season ends?
Yeah, so we know that the time comes at the end of the season. Whenever that happens, we have to do postseason physicals, and so I'll see every guy that wants to have something checked out, and there are guys that play through things. And so there'll be a handful of surgeries that we do, guys that have been kind of pushing things off, a lot of evaluations, a lot of MRIs, because we want to look at these things now and deal with them right now, right? The sooner we can deal with things that need to be dealt with, the quicker they heal and the quicker they get back and ready for the offseason program. So we're already thinking about, from a medical standpoint, what guys are hurt and need to be fixed. And so we're going through that process right now.
Is it every player or is it just certain guy? I mean, is it all 53 or whatever?
Some of them will sign out healthy, no injuries, and they're doing fine. Some guys that may not have had something check out will say, hey, can you take a look at my knee? It's been bothering me, and I'll do an examination and then may get an MRI and just to make sure there's nothing there. Because the last thing we want to do is, they leave and they come back, for the offseason program and something's hurting and then we're kind of chasing our tail. So we want to nip all this stuff out. So it was a very busy Monday morning. I spent, from I was there at 8 to around noon, just meeting with all the guys that wanted to talk to me, and then obviously getting together with the athletic trainers and then coming up with a game plan for all the different injuries, whether it's a hand, a foot, a spine, a knee, a shoulder, or whatnot.
That's really interesting. Is it rare for a player to be like, no, I'm good, I'm healthy, and not have anything?
No, I mean, guys do have injuries, but if they feel good and they don't have any issues, then they sign and say, hey, I'm good. I played last game. I feel good. I'm not having any issues. And, it's not like if a guy says I'm not hurt in 2 weeks from now when they're taking a break, and they come into the training room and say, hey, can I see doc? The X is hurting, that it will say, oh, no, you signed out healthy. We'll still take a look at that and make sure. Again, we want everybody ready at the beginning of the season, healthy and ready to roll for the following season.
So, Kevin, what like in the off season, how often would you see a guy? How often guys come in for treatment when the season ends? I mean, what happens between now and the off season program? None of us know how that works.
Yeah, so there are a handful of surgeries without getting into specifics. So obviously those guys I'll be seeing on a regular basis. Okay. What the surgeries that we do over the next week or two.
Got it. And you will do some surgeries now that the season's over. Some surgeries now.
That's correct. Okay. That's correct. Within the next week or two, and try to get that ball rolling because some of the injuries they take a while to heal from. So we'll do that, and obviously the combine's right around the corner. It's unbelievable how quick that if we did make it to the Super Bowl and we were playing in early February, the combine's 3 weeks later, and so we're starting to get ready for that and preparing and getting ourselves together what we need to do for the combine because we'll look at 300 something players and then that process starts all over. So a lot of time will be spent going over there. Obviously, it's not as busy, but I'll spend a lot of time with Ferg and the guys over there trying to get the guys ready.
What are the most common injuries that guys can play through, but then once you get beyond the season and that they need cleaned up and things like that?
It's a variety of things. You can have, little loose pieces of cartilage and bone that need to be cleaned out of either an elbow or a knee. You can have some wear, sometimes arthritic wear in the shoulder that you can go in and kind of clean that up. Labrum tears in shoulders you can actually play through and then fix at the end. And then there's certain guys that you'll see that'll wear little hand braces or wrist braces and they're maybe protecting something that needs to be fixed. So it's such a wide variety. Every year it's different. But, the most common ones are little cleanups in the knees, meniscus tears, loose bodies, and things of that nature.
And look, once you're someone's doctor, you were telling me a story that there's other, like Gabe Davis is an example. He was here.
Mm-hmm.
You're very well known as one of the best doctors in the league. I'll embarrass you a little bit, but you are. So, but he got hurt the other day. We all saw it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to do his surgery.
Yeah, I'm close with him, and obviously from his time here and having done something else for him in the past.
Right.
And it was a devastating. You could see the injury. We all knew it was pretty bad. So in our locker room, once I was done with my evaluations, I called over to Gabe in his locker room and talked to him, and obviously he was devastated. And he said, "Can I send the MRI to you?" And then we're all the physicians were all close, and they know I have a close relationship with him. And so the next day I was on the phone with their doctors and his agent, and so you develop these relationships, and it's the same thing. Some guys come sometimes here and they have a relationship with another doctor, and that's great because you want the guys to trust you, and yes, we want the Jaguars to win, but then when the game's over, it's a player that trusts you that wants to get back on the field, and so he's going to come back in a few weeks. And I said, stick with your team right now and rehab it, and if you guys make it to the Super Bowl, fantastic. Have fun with that, and then we'll fix it after that.
Yeah, one thing we all root against this team and that team. except when it comes to health, and we're all rooting for the same thing.
That's
right?
exactly right.
I mean, health. You're rooting for all the players to get healthy. Everybody roots for everybody's players to get healthy. Which you've always told me about. Kevin and I are really good friends. We talk a lot, and you've told me a lot of times over the years that you work on this player from that team and this player from that team. That's not unusual, is it?
No, it isn't. It isn't. I mean, and the guys, you develop relationships also with agents.
Yeah.
So I may not know a player, but I know an agent. I took care of this player, and he got this result, and so then they'll call you and say, "Well, we want our player to come to you for X."
Yeah.
And so you develop these relationships, and that's kind of how it works in our league. We're all again very collegial. There's only 32 of us, right? So we all know each other very well. We meet at the combine and share our ideas and our opinions, and the way we treat injuries. It's extremely educational, very helpful.
Yeah. By the way, we have all 32. This is true story. All 32 of the play-by-play guys. We're the same way. We have this group text. We talk all the time. We just don't do important stuff like you guys do. Okay, we talk about how bad the booth is in Miami. Okay, it's way less important stuff than what they're talking about.
And this isn't so much directly for Gabe Davis, but when I saw his hit, I thought at first maybe it was like a fractured femur.
Right.
So just for any athlete, is a torn ACL worse than a femur fracture?
I would say the length of time to heal from an ACL is longer, right? Because you're reconstructing a ligament. That ligament has to heal, and then you have to get your muscle tone back. Whereas, not saying that you'd rather have a fracture, but if you break a bone and you put the bone and set it back in place, it's going to heal within 6 to 8 weeks. And so it's a little bit quicker of a recovery, but I'm obviously extremely painful when you have a fracture. Actually, before the game, I gave a big hug to Eric Wood. You know Eric from the other team.
The center. You told me this. Tell people the story. You told me the story, but tell people the story that don't know it.
One of the first surgeries I did on an NFL player was on him. It was his rookie year. Broke his leg in Jacksonville.
Yeah, bad break.
And they kept him here, and I ended up putting a rod in his leg, and we stayed friends ever since. And so I walked over, gave him a hug. I said, "How you doing?" He's like, "I'll be honest with you, walking on this field gives me the icks."
I get it.
I said, "I totally understand," but he looks great. He's such a good dude, great guy.
What did you think when we talked about this off air too? When you saw the injury to Nico Collins, obviously the game we all didn't want to watch, but we did. So
of course.
What did you think? He fell awkwardly, concussion, but he fell awkwardly, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, there was like Hayes and I were talking about that. There was no bracing that impact, and so it was an extremely hard hit. Obviously when your head hits the ground, the helmet stops, but your brain continues to move, and that's what causes the concussion. And so he's in the protocol right now, but he only has 5 days to get out of the protocol. So the question, it is in the realm of possibility that he clears everything by the time the game happens, but he has to pass all those steps. And the number one thing is those symptoms have to go away. Headache, sensitivity to light, those types of things have to go away before he starts to progress.
In terms of like if an athlete gets like a high ankle sprain in the finale, and I'm not just random question, how long does that usually take when they're not having to try and rush back? Like, does it change? Like, is there a timeline change between high ankle sprain in week 3 versus high ankle sprain in your finale?
I think the ligaments still have to heal, but to your point, you're not really pushing the envelope as much as you would be during the season. So guys can rest and they can come back at a slower pace, knowing that they have a lot longer of a period of time to get better. Yeah. So I mean, it's not, but the biology is still the same.
Let me ask you the hard question. I'm serious about this. That for team doctors in any sport, and I mean that, Kevin, in any sport, what is the pressure to get a guy back in the game versus, I don't know if that's in his best interest to come play again. It doesn't matter what the injury is, doesn't matter what the team, doesn't matter what the sport is. Is that a real thing?
Yes, I would say the answer is yes. But the way I have always approached it for the time that I've been doing it is, okay, I see the player, I examine the player, I look at the scan, the MRI, the CT scan, whatever it is, and I have to first say, is there a chance that he can play, right? And if without
endangering
correct,
himself.
What's the risk,
yeah.
right? And there is obviously some risk in any injury that you're trying to play through. So I first make that assessment, and I don't think it's safe. And I say it, and thankfully our team, our coaches, general manager will go along with that. But if the player can play, knowing the risk, then we go into what's called a shared medical decision. And I lay it all out and say, this is what you have. This is what could happen if you play. These are the potentials. We don't know what's going to happen. If we all go into it knowing that there's this risk, but it's safe to play, then we have to make a decision together. And if, to me, that's the best way. You're just being completely transparent. Everybody knows what you have. Everybody knows, is there a potential risk? Yes. What are the risks? Go through everything. They have the chance to ask their questions. I literally will show them their MRI. I want them to understand the anatomy of what we're looking at. And then we make a decision process together, and it's worked very well for me, and knock on wood, no issues.
And we all know a real thing is shoot them up and put them back in there. That's probably a myth, but there probably are some times you can numb pain.
That's right.
And you can numb the pain so the player can continue to play, but you're not risking anything by continuing to play. I guess that's the point.
That's like an AC joint, right? An AC separation, you can numb that. That's a non-functional joint. You can numb it. There's very little risk there. And we don't shoot up, say knees, like a knee joint, then you risk blowing out an ACL. That's a medical decision that we wouldn't make. But you just have to be selective and know where the risks are and trying to get players to be able to go out there and play. And
see, I would think, and again, I'll embarrass you again, but I would think your reputation is such, and I'm serious about this, that if I'm a player and Dr. Kaplan says, listen, I can take care of the pain for you, and I wouldn't let you go back out there if you going back out there would endanger your future.
Right.
But I can tell you that it won't. Well, I'm going to trust you.
Right.
And you would hope everybody has that relationship with all their doctors.
Hope so.
But I'm serious. But I would think you have that. I'm serious about that.
Appreciate that.
I would think that.
Josh Allen, obviously, it's painful. It was an unbelievable performance. We knew he was dealing with the foot. We talked about that last week.
Mm-hmm.
But then to see him have Josh Hines Allen basically land with his full body weight on his jaw, have to go get checked for that, comes back out of the tent, then bangs his finger on a teammate's helmet, gets checked out for that, comes back into the game, then scores a touchdown, and Hines Allen twists him down as he's tackling him legally, but obviously messes up his knee. He's like in agony. From a medical standpoint, what kind of toughness did Josh Allen display on Sunday?
And the guy's a warrior. I mean, he's where I saw all those things. I mean, we saw the knee, and in my mind, I'm like, wow, that looked like he may sprain his MCL. I mean, how is he going to be mobile? And then he scrambles for 20 yards. You're like, I mean, he is an absolute warrior. And kudos to him for toughing through that and being able to play like he played. So again, I mean, and I know those physicians really well. I'm sure they checked out everything and everything was fine. And again, to your point, here's the risk. Do you want us to go out there? And I guarantee you, he's like, give me my helmet. Let's go.
Kevin, he's why they won the game. Hayes described it perfectly yesterday. I was thinking it. Hayes said it way more succinctly. Trevor wasn't bad at all. Trevor was like the pitcher that threw 7 innings, allowed 3 runs, 4 hits, but had a good outing. But he's facing a guy to throw a 1-hit shutout.
Right.
I mean, that's how good Josh Allen was.
That's right.
Yeah. So he really was. So hey, you've done a great job with us all year long. Tell us one more time about orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville. I know you guys have grown the practice.
We're growing the practice and getting new people. Obviously, we're excited. The group came together. We brought the best and the brightest in Jacksonville. We wanted to elevate the level of care that the patients in our community get in terms of orthopedics. And the practice started with a group of us from another practice, and I think we're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to expand our footprint in the area. We've made some great relationships with hospital systems around Jacksonville, but orthopedic specialists, we take care of everything from spine to shoulders to knees to hips to hands and everything in between. So we're very excited, and we want to make the access quick and make the treatments be top notch, and that's what we're all about.
Well, congratulations on your success with that, and we'll get him next year. I can't wait to training camp, right? It starts in training camp.
Can't wait.
Cap, we appreciate it. Thanks, buddy.
All right, guys.
Kevin Kaplan from Orthopedic Specialist of Jacksonville. More in a moment. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Get straight talk from D-Rock.
So let me get this straight.
Mike DiRocco.
And we get his insight every Thursday from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Open by Lee and Kate's Glass. Guaranteed greatness since 1926 on 1010 XL.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
When you're a little kid on the playground, they tell you don't hit back. Well, the courtroom isn't a playground. And if you've suffered an injury or death in your family, I'm here to tell you it's okay to hit back and fight to make them pay. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we understand all the pain and emotion that comes with being wrong. And we've dedicated our lives to making things right for people like you. So if you get hit back with Hastings Injury Law. Offices, Jacksonville.
Take a radio boat ride with Captain Cabin on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Reeled in by the Pest Pros at Royal Pest Services and awaken 180 weight loss.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Don't wait for leaks to tell you it's time. Start the new year with a roof built to last from Romano Brothers Roofing. Serving Jacksonville for over 45 years, their family-owned team handles repairs, full replacements, and residential or commercial installs, including durable metal roofs. They even do remodels and additions. Call 904-246-5649 or visit RomanoBrothersRoofing.com for a free estimate. License number CCC 1328893.
Hey, Hickett here. Leave all the 2025 dirt and celebrate the new year with our friends from Zero Res. Carpets, tile, hardwood, LVP, area rugs, upholstery. Basically every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. Time to call the cleaner pros at Zero Res, and don't forget about your air ducts. Zero Res has a 4.9 rating on Google with more than 8,000 reviews. Bring in the new year with 20% off carpet and upholstery cleaning, plus take $100 off your air duct cleaning when you mention 1010XL. 287-5727 or book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com.
I'm with Fresh Cycles of Jacksonville, and the fall part of the year just offers so much fun, especially when you're out and about. Tell everybody what's happening with Triumph right now.
They have got a lot of new models on the road, from Scrambler 400s. They've got the legendary Rocket motorcycle. Lots of really cool bikes to choose from.
And the price point and all the tricks that come with the Triumph bike, they're all there.
They're all there. Entry level to the greatest of the great. We've got them.
Look for them online, cyclesofjacksonville.com. Check out their Facebook page or that showroom on Atlantic near Regency.
Hi, this is Dave Barker with IHRS. People ask, are your solutions for thinning hair permanent? Yes, our solutions have permanent natural results and are guaranteed to work. Put our 35 years of experience helping 10,000 plus men and women to work for your thinning hair. Our trademark hair transplant procedures will give you 3 times more hair in one procedure. PRP and laser treatments are fast, easy, and effective, and only take 30 minutes. Most of our staff have experienced hair loss ourselves. Our caring and confidential team can help you look better and feel better about yourself and restoring your hair again.
For your confidential consultation, call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or go to hairforme.com. That's hairforme.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Back to a Coen and Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it too.
We appreciate our friend Kevin Kaplan from the Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, and of course the Jaguars team doctor, Frangie and Carline and LaSelva with you on a Coen and Sons Wednesday. We haven't expounded on that Gator basketball team. So what do you think now? Are you back to thinking they're going to win the national championship? We got so caught up, Hayes, in how bad the guards were, that and how that we maybe forgot to notice how good the rest of them were. And they kept losing games, but they were narrowly losing games to great teams, and maybe we got clouded a bit.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, even looking at last night, I mean, for them to go on the road and earn a quad one win when Fland, Lee, and Klavzar combined to shoot 2 of 14 from the 3-point line, it speaks to they have an immense amount of talent in that front court. It is just going to be very difficult for any team to stay with them if the guards can. And last night they overcame that because Boogie Fland made 6 shots from inside the 3-point line, and Lee made a couple of field goals, and Klavzar made 3 non-3 field goals. So they ended up playing well enough. Fland had 15. Klavzar had 13, Lee had 4. That's what we've talked about. Of those 3, this is the key to Florida's season. This will hold form in every game they play the rest of this way. Between Fland, Lee, and Klavzar, one has to play well, which they got last night. I would say that Boogie Fland scoring 15 points, 7 to 16 from the field, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. That's a good game. Boogie Fland played well. Urban Klavzar played good, 13 points, doesn't do much beyond that, but scored 13. And then Lee was terrible, 4 points, didn't do much beyond that, was 0 for 6 shooting the 3. So you got 1 great, 1 good, and 1 terrible. That's all they need because Hauk, Chinlilu, Condon, I mean, again, Handlogden gives them good minutes when he's out there. I think the expectations are right back to where they were, that this was a team that had to, obviously it was an incredibly challenging non-conference schedule. And, if they'd played a bunch of cream puffs, then they'd have a much better record. But in terms of the growth that they have made, particularly Fland and Klavzar, they just need, last year, they needed Clayton, Richard, and Martin to all play well to have a chance and against the really good schools. Like they couldn't have off nights. This team is much different. They really just need an average performance from the 3 combined. If they get that with the dominant front court, I mean, they're out rebounding teams. When's the last time Florida won the rebounding battle by 9 or less? I mean, they constantly win the rebounding battle by 10 or more. Last night it was 43 to 31. They're an incredible team. Again, we're still 2 months away from really them playing significant games where their season depends upon it. I think they're getting ready to be the hottest team in the country.
Here's the interesting thing, I think the Vanderbilt game's in a great spot for them. They don't have to win it because if you lose, okay, you've lost to an undefeated top 10 team on the road. That happens. You still come back. I think they're going to win their next 3 or 4 games looking at the schedule. But if they win that game, then they're well positioned again from a standpoint of perception too. But here's what stuck out to me about last night, Hayes. Oklahoma might be down a little, but Oklahoma coached by Porter Moser still pretty good. They're a tournament. We're talking about a tournament team.
Yeah, they're 11-6 after the loss.
A tournament team you're playing on the road. They led that game by 29 points. Did you realize that? They had a 29-point lead in that game. You have a 29-point lead on the road against what's going to be an NCAA tournament team in all likelihood, maybe a 10 seed, but a tournament team. Yeah, so I think we lost sight of how good.
Oklahoma shot 58.6% from the field in the second half,
right,
and were 8 of 12 shooting the 3 in the second half, which is a ridiculous 66.7%, and got routed in their gym.
Yeah, never got it closer to 15. 15 is the lowest it got to. So we lost sight of how good Florida is at the other spots because of how bad the guards were. The other part of that, too, is I do think they found their identity. I told you this the other day. Fland is their multi-purpose guard. Boogie Fland's a pretty good player. I'm now convinced he's not a particularly good shooter, but he's a good player. Klavzar only made 1 last night. I think what bothered me more than anything else about last night, he only took 3. Urban Klavzar's got to shoot more than 3 3-pointers. He's got to attempt more than 3. he's got to get some up, don't you think? He's got to get some up.
Without a doubt, but that's the top page of the scouting report. So he's going to have to evolve his game.
And I get it
to get around that.
And I agree with that. But I want the one thing I want. Listen, last night he didn't need to shoot more; they're blowing him out. But I want to see him get more 3-pointers up. But the bottom line is they know who they are now. They know they're not a great shooting team. That's not going to change. I think if you pulled Todd Golden aside right now, he'd say it's not like in 2 weeks we'll be making all the threes. We know who we are now. Fland is a little bit of a slasher. I didn't look at the minutes, but I'll bet you Clavsar played 7 or 8 more than Lee again.
He did. He had 27-11, and Lee was at 19-18.
Yeah, because they now know that's how they're better. Yeah. They're better.
So almost exactly 8 more minutes for Clavsar.
So now you know that's who you are. You now know what you have to do. They don't have great athleticism in the backcourt or in the wing, which is why Isaiah Brown now plays some. So I think they got a pretty good idea who they are. They're going to look. It'll be a fun watch the rest of the season. It'll be fun. I now think, because the league's down a little bit, I've now back to best case they're a high seed, 2 or 3 seed, and worst case they're a 5 seed. Before I was thinking, before the season I thought 1 or 2 seed. Then I went to thinking they're a 7 seed. 7 or 8 seed, and now I'm back to thinking they're somewhere between a 2 and a 5 seed. And we'll see. There's a lot of basketball left to be played in the SEC and around the country. So, but they're fun to watch. No question about that. We'll take a break. We're going to talk some NFL football, not Jaguars, other NFL football. We return. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
What's 1010XL's starting lineup?
The starting lineup.
Hicken and Prosser in the morning. Dipsy and Fat Tony with the Jazz. Josie, Matt, and Leon middays. Tommy, Lauren, and Taylor. Helmets and heels. Frangie and Carline drive you home. And Baloo and Hacker in the evening. Live and local all day. 1010XL.
Happy New Year from Awaken 180 Weight Loss. It is 2026. Is this what you've been waiting for? Is the time now for you to drop the weight with Awaken 180 Weight Loss? Look, the time was right for me. I had to do something. I remember looking at myself in the mirror, just couldn't believe it, man. I was going down a bad path. Found out about the great folks of Awaken 180 Weight Loss, started talking with a coach, and instantly I knew that is exactly what I needed. Awaken 180 changed my life. I lost over 100 pounds. Guys, take it from somebody that lost triple digits on this program. It worked for me. It will work for you. No shots, no pills. You do it the natural way with the terrific coaching of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Call 844-346-1800 or go to Awaken180weightloss.com and do what I did with Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
All right, folks, our private equity fund just bought another one in Jacksonville.
Love it. Let's make sure the website says locally trusted.
Should we change the number to a Florida area code?
Nah, just pretend we're local.
Meanwhile, Holland Sons Plumbing didn't need a rebrand to stay local. We're family-owned, veteran-operated, and proud to call Jacksonville home. So if you want a plumber who actually lives in your neighborhood, not in a boardroom, call Holland Sons Plumbing. Holland Sons Plumbing. Locally owned, nationally unbothered.
This is Hayes Carline from my friend Holt at Harold and Harold. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident, and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harold and Harold make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. The monthly card show returns for 2026 this Saturday, running from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Nearly 20 tables of local vendors with football, baseball, and Pokemon cards. In-store card show this Saturday from 9 to 4 at Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
Listen to whatever you like, whenever you want.
I like this.
1010XL on demand. Ad-free shows after the live shows end. Channeled by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Search where you find podcasts.
Did you know your roof ages from the inside out? By the time you see a leak, damage already exists beneath the shingles. Sun exposure, humidity, and seasonal storms slowly weaken roofing materials over time. If your roof is 15 years old or more, then now is the time to start planning, not reacting. At Endless Summer Roofing, we provide professional inspections and clear guidance so you can make informed decisions. Visit EndlessSummerRoofing.com to schedule a free inspection. Endless Summer Roofing, protecting your home from Florida's endless summers.
Before termites attack your home or business and cause costly damage, Terminix it. At Terminix, we know how to stop termites. These destructive pests have been around for millions of years, but before they show up, so do we. And their time is up. Don't live with a termite problem? Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's team time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
I think there's two golden moments on the show today. Brett Hastings came by, did a great job with Sports and Courts, talking about the Damon Williams situation, and will now players not be able to leave as quickly to go to the portal because the contract says they can't leave. Really interesting stuff. And, of course, our friend Kevin Kaplan, the Jaguar team doctor, really interesting conversation about what happens now, player physicals, what happens as they move forward. So all that, a lot of fun. We certainly appreciate Kevin Kaplan coming by. Two golden moments on the program today. Let's talk NFL for a second. What games this weekend have your attention? And I know we don't want to watch any of them, but there are four of them. Which ones have your attention the most?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm excited. It's it's a shame the Jaguars aren't in it, but I'm excited to see these matchups. I think I like the road teams. I like the Bills over the Broncos. I like the 49ers over the Seahawks. I like the Texans over the Patriots, and I like the Rams over the Bears.
You like all four.
So I think it could be carnage in terms of the bracket.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I really am interested in seeing how Denver and New England can hold up with obviously young quarterbacks. I'm always curious too how teams handle the bye. It seems like some teams can handle it well. Some teams that the rest doesn't do them any favors. So we'll see. I mean, I think it's wide open. I mean, of these 8 teams, there's really none that I can discount and say they can't do it. I mean, Chicago, I think, can beat the Rams. I think the Rams will win, but I think Chicago is got a great thing going with Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. So it's 4 coin flip games for me, but I do like the road team in all 4.
The one I'm most interested in is Buffalo-Denver, and that's the first one. It looks like, I'm guessing now, the way it played out, that if the Jags had won and we're going to New England, that would be the Sunday 3:00 game. That'd be my guess. Is that would be the Sunday, and the Houston-Denver would be the 4:30 game on Saturday. Wouldn't you guess that?
Yes.
So I think we would have been in that Sunday 3:00 game based on the way it played out. Again, I think Denver and New England would have been playing right where they are and right when they are now. I hear what you said. I'm kind of agreeing with you. I think Seattle's going to beat the 49ers, so I don't agree there. But and we'll do our picks obviously coming up. But yeah, I hear you. Buffalo. I think they're going to win. I think Houston's going to win. Yeah, I think the Rams. I got 3 of the roadies, so it'll be interesting to see. By the way,
do you have a team? Like, do you have is just from a fan standpoint? Do you have a Super Bowl you'd like to see?
I want Buffalo to win because they won here, and I want to have lost to the Super Bowl champion. I'll feel better about that.
Yeah.
So I'm rooting for Buffalo. And I have no ill feelings toward Buffalo. I think he's a really good quarterback. So if I could choose what I'd want to see, probably Buffalo, San Francisco, probably yeah.
God, that'd be huge for the Bills fan base.
Yeah.
Finally get that one done.
Yeah, yeah. So Buffalo.
We're going back like 30 plus years.
I know.
And you're playing the 49ers in their house.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
By the way, they're the biggest underdog this week. They're like 7-point underdogs going into
not
Seattle.
having Kittle hurt. I mean, it's
their defense is destroyed with injuries.
Yeah, and Seattle could certainly rough them up.
I-
But I just worry about Darnold.
Yeah, they did a couple weeks ago though. It was 13-3 the last game. Was it the last game or second to last game of the regular season? Seattle pretty much handled the Niners pretty easily in that game.
How about this? If we're right and we both think this, Buffalo and Houston both win, the AFC Championship game is in freaking Houston.
Yeah.
That part would
brutal.
suck. I mean, that part would
Brutal.
suck. But the AFC, if they both win,
I'm definitely pulling
and I think
for the Patriots.
I am too. I am too. I absolutely
The
am.
weather, by the way, in Chicago and New England this weekend, I looked it up. Chicago, it's going to be like 15 degrees, snowing all day. New England, it's a little warmer.
Wow.
But I'm interested to see that young team in the weather.
Matthew
like Brady
Stafford's
did it
back.
1,000 times, so you were just like, oh, that's an automatic advantage for them. But now, like, I've never seen Drake May play in that. So
That's right.
And I think it's really interesting in Rams-Bears.
Oh, yeah.
Because you've got Devontae Adams just coming off a hamstring injury, and he's in his mid-30s. And you've got Matthew Stafford, who's in his late 30s.
And his hand
and
is-
has had a back issue since training camp.
And it's a dome team. It's a West Coast dome team.
Right.
Yeah.
So
no,
that one's very.
We saw
if
them
that's
struggle
played
against
in
the Eagles
terrible
last
weather,
year in the same
yeah.
kind of weather.
Yeah, it'll be. I'm way more because of our team. I'm way more interested in the early games because they're the two AFC games. Yeah, I would. And no disrespect to my friends in Houston, but I would hate that if the Houston Texans get to host the AFC Championship game, because that also then fear they're going to win. You know,
Sure.
and that's the last thing you want. So yeah, anyway, right. It's down to two
I don't want to
teams.
see that offense in the Super Bowl.
No, I don't
so
either.
can somebody please stop that from happening?
I said it'll be interesting. So, all right, we'll take a break. We'll be back to wrap the program after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Taking a look at the national championship game in college football Monday night at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The number one seed Indiana Hoosiers, an 8.5-point favorite over the Miami Hurricanes. Indiana routing both Alabama and Oregon en route to their title game. They're looking for their first national championship. Indiana minus 340. The Hurricanes are looking for their first title since 2001. They are plus 275. The over-under is at 47.5. Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza minus 270 to win the MVP. Miami quarterback Carson Beck is at plus 650. Miami running back Mark Fletcher Jr. is at plus 1,200.
Progressive helping veterans drive their lives forward. More info, keysofprogress.com.
I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
It's January. You turn on the hot water, expecting steam, and you get let down. That's usually a sign your tankless water heater is loaded with mineral buildup, slowing it down and wearing it out before it's time. So Duck Duck Rooter is kicking the new year off strong with a Start Fresh Tankless Flush. Their experienced technicians flush and clean your tankless system, restoring performance and getting you back in the game. Right now, get your tankless water heater flushed and cleaned for just $99, 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
When it's game time, make feeding the crowd easy. Chicken Salad Chick serves fresh Southern-style chicken salad, flavorful sides, and crowd-favorite catering trays. Order ahead at chickcatering.com or visit one of 4 area locations today.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees, about $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 14th.
In your mailbox right now. Did you know there's local savings sitting in your mailbox right now? Money Pages is packed with real coupons from your favorite local businesses. Save money at restaurants like Al's Pizza, on pet care at Forever Vets, and on entertainment for the whole family at the Alhambra Theater. Plus, make sure to download the Money Pages app for savings on the go. Pages in your mailbox right now.
You'll always feel good when you send someone a Kuhn Flowers floral or plant arrangement. This is RJ with 1010XL, and no matter what the reason, Kuhn Flowers has always come through for me. Order online at kuhnflowers.com.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the chairman of Underwoods. With Christmas behind us in 2026 here, the last thing you want to hear is somebody trying to sell you something. That's why at Underwoods, we'd like to stop and just say thank you to all the people that came in our stores over the last year. Whether you bought from us or not, we want to thank you for coming in and giving us the chance to help. You see, in North Florida, there are a lot of people trying to sell you jewelry, but at Underwoods, we consider it an honor for somebody to come in and just give us that chance to help. And if we do a good job, we might get a chance to serve again. Having served North Florida since 1928, all of us here understand what a customer really gives us during that visit to Underwoods, their trust. And it's up to us to do everything we can to keep it. So on behalf of everybody on the Underwood team, thanks again for coming into our stores, and we wish each of you a Happy New Year.
Join the movement at the Foundation 5000, Saturday, January 17th at UF Health in St. Augustine. The Community 5K supports the UF Health St. John's Foundation Care Connect mobile outreach and clinic, delivering vital medical care to those who need it most. Run or walk with 96 Olympian Keith Brantley, or come enjoy the Asian market, open to runners and non-runners alike. Sign up today at runsignup.com. Search Foundation 5000.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Back to a Coen and Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it too.
They are Jacksonville's fence company. Coel and Sons, 904-356-4821, coiljacks.com, COILE. Also, bathroom partitions of any kind, overhead doors for your business. They do a lot of stuff in the realm here. I told you, with the Bregan Baseball Complex, they've done all our fencing now. But even before that, I needed to build a big batter's eye, which is a 40-foot wall, and didn't know how to do it. And to make it work, make it wind protected the whole bit. And they're so good, they figured out a way. They're so good at so many things you want to do. My friends from Coel and Sons, we certainly do appreciate those guys. So hard to believe the college football season's over on Monday night. Right, JJ? Hard to believe, isn't it?
I can't believe that we're still going.
You're still
honestly,
playing.
it's 16 games. I've never been a part of as a fan of anything close
game?
like that.
It'll
Yeah,
be
they're 13-2 right now.
Wow, they'll be the 16th. Wow.
I mean, it honestly, it feels like Florida beat Florida State 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
mean, the Miami Notre Dame game.
Yeah, which is
oh
early.
My
right.
God,
Yeah.
August 30th or something.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is I've convinced myself Florida and Miami didn't play. Okay, so does that. So I've got that one blocked out. So I will.
Yeah, that felt ages ago.
I will say this: I am the college football world is so weird with the portal. We talked about at the top of the program and all the free agency. But it does keep you interested all during the offseason. I'll say that. One thing, when free agency came to the NFL in the 90s, people said it was, and they didn't have free agency until the 90s. But baseball did it 20 years earlier. But it was genius because it kept the NFL in the news all year long. Well, I'll say this. Usually by now, in the old days, there was signing day. But up until then, there was no news. Well, now there is. And now even past what will be a traditional signing day. Do they still have the sign? I guess they do still have it in February, right?
I would imagine.
Yeah, but no one's left. But this whole portal stuff, it's kept it in the news.
Well, you can only go into it for 2 more days.
Yeah, well, yeah, but you can take people out of it.
You can.
Yeah.
You can sign up until the very start of the season if you're in the portal. But I would think most guys by now have probably picked a school.
Yeah, I agreed, but I would just think it certainly has kept it in the news.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and so no. I mean, I will. Do you do this? Do you check your phone all the time to see if anybody new in the portals come? I do.
Not so much. I can't explain. Maybe I guess it's because
you haven't gotten all into it.
If you needed a quarterback, you would be doing that all day.
And there certainly were ones that I think part of it is I just don't trust it. Like even if I see that a guy is committed, it's like, well,
what does that mean?
All that means is that. What are you going to do if like another school doubles that offer?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the commitment means nothing.
It's the signing now that you have to look for.
Right. And so until and really a lot of these schools, it doesn't seem like they're not announcing signings.
Right.
It's just like their beat writers are saying, hey, this person's committed. But, it doesn't it's not like there's any sort of official acknowledgement of it. And so I sort of just, I guess probably because Florida doesn't have the money I think Florida's doing better in that space, but I think Florida fans were like, well, we don't really need to do this. Well, you do need to do it. And Exhibit A is Indiana. Exhibit B is Texas Tech. Exhibit C is Ole Miss. Like cash is king now in college football. And if you want your team to be good, like it or not, you're going to have to donate whatever you can get by with donating. If it's $20 a month, it's $20 a month. But you get, 5,000 fans donating $20 a month, and you've bought a pretty good receiver.
Right. And that's the world we're in.
Yeah.
That's the world we're in. Let's say hello to Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Rick, the powers that be spoke today.
Yeah.
What'd you make from it?
I thought it was good. Gladstone's so clever. Has a really profound way of saying nothing,
right.
But he makes you think a little bit the way that he does it, and he doesn't have to say anything. He was asked about, every player and every situation today, and I think they've been so transparent. Coen, to me, is the exact opposite. Cohen's going to tell you exactly what he feels. But, when he was asked about Parker and he was asked about, doing some of these other contracts, Trayvon Walker, Devin Lloyd, etc., he just goes on and on and on, but doesn't really answer the question.
Right, which is smart.
Well, of course it's smart. Absolutely. I mean, you're not going to, we're going to re-sign Devin Lloyd and let ETN go. But I just love his vocabulary. I love the way that he answers questions. It's brilliant, and it certainly is completely different from a year ago, where I wasn't even allowed to ask Trent Baalke a question.
This will change, right? And then now I think that we've heard from him for a while. And I think the next time we do, it'll be certainly getting ready for free agency.
Yeah.
So what's coming up tonight?
Well, all of that. I mean, I thought it was a great 32-minute press conference today. So going to really give my opinion on what I got out of it. I got a lot of really good things out of it. And I actually got a couple of I'm going to make that are really early decisions that I think this football team is going to make based on what they had to say today. So I'm looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun.
All right. Rick Ballou goes into the night talking about what he took from the press conference and a whole lot more. That's our program. We'll see you tomorrow for Hayes and JJ. I'm Frank Frangie. So long.